Mystic River. That's my review for this video. This is a Clint Eastwood film. He directed it, though he did not star in it in any capacity. Though he does get a very, uh, uh, actually quite a bit of great acting from its cast, including Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne, Laura Linney, Marcia Gay Harden. Terrific performances in this film. Basically, this movie it's a murder mystery, a police procedural, though it is heightened by the fact that the victim, basically, or more accurately, the victim's father, which is the Sean Penn character, and the police officer, the detective investigating it, and the prime suspect in the murder are all connected by a childhood tragedy. Basically, Jimmy, Sean, and Dave, they're childhood friends in Boston. They're just your regular troublemaking kids, basically. One of them gets picked up by a bunch of a pair of child molesters, and he escapes from horrible circumstances, which thankfully this movie is more implicative of. Is that a word? Implicative? More that they imply than they actually show, thankfully. Though we can tell, of course, that whatever he may have experienced was absolutely traumatic and horrifying beyond any kind of thought, which is why it serves better to leave, unfortunately, to the imagination. But basically, the main story is in their adult's life. Sean Penn is the character, he's Jimmy, and his daughter is killed, and basically Dave is the main suspect. Sean is the detective investigating the case, and the movie though it is kind of what you'd see in your standard kind of police investigation movie, a mystery. There are false leads. You kind of think, oh well, Dave is a little too obvious of a suspect, don't you think? So there's twists and turns and things like that. Definitely heightened by the wife characters. Sean's wife is estranged from him. He's always on the phone, like, answer me. That's really good. Dave's wife, Marcia Gay Harden, she was nominated for an Oscar for supporting actress for her role here. She's untrusting of him, thinks that maybe he did something, and it's kind of almost working with Jimmy. And then there's Jimmy's wife, played by Laura Linney, also nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. So quite a bit of nominations came from this movie. She's kind of the unflinching, devoted to a fault wife of Jimmy, almost to a point where not too inaccurately, people have compared her to like a Lady Macbeth kind of character, which I like, because the movie does kind of have, aside from the police investigation, the mystery, and the melodrama of it all, it does definitely have notes of Shakespearean tragedy. Basically, that was kind of what all the critics were saying when it came out. Now that the dust is settled, it is kind of it's accurate, I think, only because you can kind of tell there is a hyper reality to the movie. Like, Jimmy, he's all three of them, they're basically they're working class guys. Basically, Jimmy, of course, is a criminal who's done some bad things in his past, killed some people in his past, and Dave, working class, Sean, working class. They speak very eloquently and very kind of poetically, profoundly, and they have these kind of long speeches about profound things. Some days I think we all got into that car and we're just dreaming of what life would be if we had become men. But this is really beautiful dialogue, so I mean you can't really blame it for being not too like gritty, down to earth, but something a little more than that. This is a fictional movie. This is a fictional story, and it is written, and I kind of buy that because if you compare it to something like Crash or something, you don't buy it, because you kind of think it's supposed to be set in this real world environment, but because the melodrama of this is so based in its characters, three main characters, that it focuses very attentively to. And gives a lot of time to, and develops extremely well. It works tremendously. It is an incredible movie, really. though it is melodramatic at points, it works. I mean, it earns every emotion that it kind of provokes from you, I think. Of course, acting really great. Tim Robbins won Best Supporting Actor, which is very well deserved. Sean Penn won Best Actor, which, good for him, but can I just say, I mean, Sean Penn, whatever. I mean, he's a good actor, he really is. That Oscar, that's Bill Murray's Oscar. I don't know how else to put it. They called his name, they must have had a mistake. His name might be on there, but that's Bill Murray's Oscar for Lost in Translation. I don't care what anybody says. Bill Murray's Oscar. Okay? Now that I have that out of the way. But yeah, a terrific movie. Clint Eastwood definitely knows how to direct. He's a very attentive director to characters, and he is a very careful director. Like, he knows kind of what pitfalls a movie like this could fall into, and he avoids them very, very well. And the music is great. Clint Eastwood composed the music for this movie, which is quite incredible. And I think it just works great. Because it is on its own a great mystery and a very top of the line police procedural, but it is heightened by this sense of tragedy and the unity of the characters from that childhood trauma. So it brings it to another kind of level that's very, very thought-provoking and very draining emotionally. So I think it's a fantastic movie. It didn't win the Oscar for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, screenplay, one for two actors, one for Robbins and for Penn. It probably, I think it would have won if it weren't for Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is like most amazing thing ever. So there's that, but I think probably it would have won if it had been released any other year, I think. Then, of course, a year later, another Clint Eastwood movie won, $1 Million Baby. This one is definitely among Eastwood's best. Among Penn's best, Robbins' best, everybody's best, Bacon's best, even Lawrence Fishburne. He's kind of like the unsung hero of the movie because he's like, aside from everything. And Laura Linney and Marcia Gay Harden, they're fantastic in the movie. Really great movie. Really interesting, and yeah, I mean, even if once you figure out the mystery, there is that higher level of drama that keeps on bringing you back to it. And so I think it's always worth seeing. We bury our sins, we wash them clean. It's very, very heavy. So it's a good movie, and I think it's great, and definitely one to watch when you're catching up on the Oscar classics. So that's my review, and I thank you very much for watching.